in this video, I'm going to show you how to do one of each kind of examples for the homework. So you're going to need your homework sheet, a periodic table, and you have one of those on the back of the other thing you need, which is your ionic and covalent chart. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is check to see if you are dealing with ionic or covalent. And in this one, it tells you you're dealing with ionic compounds. So you're going to look at the set of rules that you filled out for naming ionic compounds. And I have those here in orange. Okay, the first one is you list the name of the metal first. So let's look at our example. We have NaBr. So we need to figure out what those are and which of those is the metal. So we look on our periodic table, and we know that metals are on the left and non-metals are on the right. And then we have kind of a metalloid line going like that to divide them there. So let's see, I have Na, and I look up Na, it's right there, sodium, and that's the metal. So the name sodium is going to go first. And then our second rule says it's followed by the name of the nonmetal. The end of the nonmetal is changed to "ide." So we're going to take Br and use our periodic table to find out what that is. Br. Okay, bromine. So we're going to change the end of bromine to "ide," which gives us bromide. The last rule says if it involves a transition metal, use Roman numerals to tell which one. We don't have a transition metal. Those are the metals on the inside. So we're good, and that one's done. Okay, let's go ahead and go forward to writing formulas. So you have the rules on here. It says the element furthest left on the periodic table always goes first. This is ionic compounds. That's going to be the same thing. Metals will go first. And you're lucky because they already have all of the metals first for you. So there's your big hint. It says write the element symbols side by side. So we're going to write the symbol for potassium, which is K. And the symbol for iod something, and we know it's not iodide because the end was changed. So we look it up and it's iodine, which is I. Okay? And then here's the tricky thing for ionic compounds. You have to write the element symbol side by side with their ion valence numbers at the top. So we have to look up those on the periodic table and see why the periodic table is important. Potassium is in the first column. It has a +1. Iodine is in this column and it has a -1. So we're going to crisscross the numbers to find out how many of each are in each compound. You can also think of it as if potassium has a charge of 1, iodine is going to have that many. And if iodine has a charge of 1, potassium is going to have that many. So you're just crisscrossing. And what you end up with is K1I1, or you could just write that as Ki. Either one of those will be correct for this. Okay? Go ahead and try that with the rest of those. Again, the ones with stars are extra credit. So we're going to switch over from ionic to covalent, which is a different set of rules. For covalent, they're in the yellow here. Again, whichever element is found furthest left on the periodic table goes first. You guys are lucky because that's already done for you. And then the other element goes second and ends in "ide." So it's just the same as the ionic compounds, except the way that you tell that it is covalent is, first of all, there's no metal, and second of all, it'll use these prefixes to tell how many there are in there. And remember, mono is kind of different. You don't necessarily have to use mono, but you can. Either way is right. Okay, so let's look at the names for the following covalent compounds. We have NiO3. So we're going to write the name of the first one, and we have to use our periodic table unless we know these symbols by heart. Start to get to know some of them. And we look it up and we have sulfur, so we're going to write sulfur. And then we have O, which we should all know is oxygen, but we change the N to ide, so it's actually going to be oxide. And then we have 3 of that, so that's going to be tri. And 1 of that, you can put mono or you don't have to put mono. Okay, so that's how to go from the formula to the name. To go from the name to the formula is really easy. You just have to look up the elements and put their symbols, and then you need to put how many there are. So nitrogen symbol is N. Okay, and because there's no mono or anything, we know it's just 1. You can either write it with the 1 or without. And then trichloride, which element would be chlorine. And the symbol for that is Cl. Cl. And tri means 3. Okay. So I'm going to rewrite this as NCl3 because I don't like those little ones. So just go ahead and do that for all of the rest. Remember, the ones with stars are extra credit, and we're going to grade these in class the next time I see you. Good luck.